much does it actually cost to build a house here in Nigeria? In today's episode, I'm going to give you a detailed breakdown of how much you should be looking at when considering building a house here in Nigeria. In this video, we're going to look at the cost of building permits, developmental fee, building design, structural drawings, survey plan, bill of quantity, engineering fee, excavation, material and labor costs using 4-bedroom bungalow here in Delta State as our case study. Note that the prices of these things differs from state to state, city to city, town to town, sometimes local government to local government, and the prices are not fixed. I might go to my local government and pay 100k for building permit for my 4-bedroom bungalow, and someone else might pay 80k or 150k for the same 4-bedroom bungalow. So the prices are not fixed, okay? This video is just going to give you a guide, a range of how much you should be looking at when budgeting for these things, okay? Now you've bought your land, you've done everything concerning your land, and you want to start your building project. The first thing you're going to do is to pay for your building permit or developmental fee. This building permit or developmental fee, you pay it to the local government or the host community where you're building on, okay? The host community where the land you're building on is, okay? Now, this building permit here in Uwe local government area of Delta State, Nigeria, for 4-bedroom bungalow, it ranges from 400k to 500k to 600k for 4-bedroom bungalow. Then, for story building, let's say duplex, story building, it ranges from 800k to 1 million naira for building permit or developmental fee. That is the range that you pay for building permits here in Uwe local government area of Delta State, Nigeria. Now, for this 4-bedroom bungalow we are going to build, we are going to pay 400k for our building permits or developmental fee. 400k, that is what we are paying to the host community where we are building this our 4-bedroom bungalow. Now you've paid for your developmental fee. The next thing we are going to do, because we are building in Uwe local government area of Delta State, there's what we call cutoff. Yes, this cutoff means you don't want to use anybody from the community to work on that your building project. You don't want to use their workers, nobody from the community. You want to bring your own workers to build on that your land. So because you want to bring your own workers, you don't want to use anybody from the community, you will pay what they call cut-off. That means you're cutting off the community, right? So you pay this cut-off. This thing is not the same in different parts of Nigeria. It's not even the same in different parts of Delta State. Like Agbo, there's nothing like cut-off. Once you pay your developmental fee, you are free to bring anybody, even if you go to China and bring people to come and build on the land. Nobody is coming to disturb you. But here in Uwe local governments, even in some, in fact, Urobo and Ishekiri, all these parts of Delta State, they do these things, okay? If you don't want the community to work on that land, you have to pay them off, okay? So for them to allow you to bring workers from outside to work on that your building project, you have to pay them off. So now we are bringing our own workers, okay? So I'm going to assume now for this 4-bedroom bungalow that we are bringing our own workers. We don't want to use anybody from the community. So now for this cutoff, cutting off the community, paying off the community so that you can bring your own workers, it ranges from 1 million to 2 million naira. Yes, this cutoff that you don't want to use anybody from the community, you don't want to use their engineer, you don't want to use any laborer from the community. The price you pay for this cutoff ranges from 1 million naira to 2 million naira. Sometimes it can be more than, depending on what you are building. If you are building a hotel, commercial building, it can be more than. Okay, so for this 4-bedroom bungalow, we are going to pay 1 million naira to the community to pay them off so that we can bring our own workers. If you want to use people from the community to build on that project, you are not going to pay them off. So this 1 million naira will be off. Now I'm going to assume that we are going to bring our own workers, right? Now the reason we are going to bring our own workers for this project is because, yeah, maybe we're from the community, but we've not been living in this community for long. We don't really know good engineers, good laborers that will handle our building project. And we've been working in other states and other places, and we have our own engineers, we have our trusted hands that we can, hand over our building projects to. So we just decided to pay the community off so that we can use our own workers that we already know. We already used to. So for this cutoff, we are going to pay 1 million naira to the community for this 4-bedroom bungalow. Yes. Okay. So some communities don't do that. Agbo, they don't pay any cutoff. Asaba, nothing like cutoff. You buy, pay the developmental fee, you can start your building project. Bring anybody, nobody is coming to disturb you, okay? Yeah. Now, after paying for this cutoff, you've paid for your developmental fee, you've paid for cutoff. Now you're going to meet your architect for your building design, right? So you're going to draw your building design. You're going to tell your architect what you have in mind. start telling him how you want this 4-bedroom bungalow to be. I want it like this, I want the bedroom to be like this, I want this. So now they will build an overall overview of how the house is going to be. So for them to design an overview of how the house will look, most likely look after building, you have to pay 150k. okay, it ranges from 150k to 300k depending on how complicated your design is. Okay, for a very simple 4-bedroom bungalow design, we are going to pay 150,000 naira for the building design. Yes, 150,000 naira for the building design. So for this 4-bedroom bungalow, we are just going to go for a very simple 4-bedroom bungalow design. Very simple design. Now for the structural drawing, which is the main drawing the engineer will need when building this house, the structural drawing, we're also going to pay the engineer 150,000 naira for the 4-bedroom bungalow. Okay, based on the specifications we've given to him, he's going to draw everything, the structural drawing, how the details of how each of the rooms are going to be. I've talked about all these things now, meaning of the structural drawing and everything. So for the structural drawing, we're going to pay 150,000 naira to the architect to give us this drawing. Okay, this is the major drawing the engineer is going to use when building this our 4-bedroom bungalow, and this cost, it ranges from 150,000 naira to 200, 300, 400, sometimes 100,000 naira, depending on the architect and depending on the design, how complicated your design is. But for this 4-bedroom bungalow, we are going for a very simple 4-bedroom bungalow design. So the structural drawing is just going to be something very simple, minimalist, no too much corner, carving. No. They are not carving any too much carving, just straight simple drawing. Okay, so for this simple 4-bedroom bungalow, for the structural drawing, we are paying 150,000 naira to the architect to give us the structural drawing. We need the structural drawing. You cannot boycott this part. Okay, so these are the things you are going to pay. One, you pay for your building permit or your developmental fee. Two, you pay for cut-off. That is if you are in places where they demand for cut-off, where the community people will come and disturb if you did not use their people from the community. Okay, but if you are in locations where they don't mind, like Agbo or even Asaba, they don't mind, you can bring anybody from anywhere to come and build, nobody is coming to disturb you, then this 1 million naira is off. But here in Uwe, even in Wari, inside Wari, anywhere, you're gonna pay this money. Okay, or you use people from the community. So now we're paying 1 million naira. Then for the building design, 150,000 naira. For the structural drawing, 150,000 naira. Now we're going to pay for the survey plan. Yes, when you bought the land, they've already surveyed it. Now we are going to carry that structural drawing, the building design, everything, hand it over to the surveyor to map out the land to see if this building will fit this particular land. Okay, will fit, if this structure will fit this particular land that we want to build on. So for the survey plan, we're going to pay 150,000 naira to the surveyor to do the survey for the building we want to build. Okay, so to survey the land for this particular 4-bedroom bungalow we want to build, we are going to pay 150,000 naira to the surveyor. And this ranges from 150k, 200, 300, 400. So for this 4-bedroom bungalow that the design is simple, everything is simple, now we need a surveyor to come and just survey the land, make sure that okay, everything will fit, our building, the building we have in mind to build will fit into the land. The surveyor, we're going to pay him or her 150,000 naira. Okay, now this is just for a very simple 4-bedroom bungalow. If you are building hotel, commercial building, duplex, the prices ranges, and it ranges from individual, depending on the architect, depending on the surveyor, depending on your location. Okay, so the prices differs from state to state, city to city, town to town, even local government to local governments. So even if you are in the same Delta state, it cannot be the same price. Okay, now we are going to pay for engineering fee. This engineering fee is not the labor cost though. Engineering fee is different from labor cost. This is for the engineer to oversee everything that is, to oversee the whole, to make sure what you have on paper is what you're going to have on ground. Okay, so because even if you carry normal laborers to come and do, laborers cannot interpret what the architect have drew on the ground. Their own is to set what the engineer is telling them. So for you to get the services of an engineer, you have to pay the engineer the engineering fee. So this engineering fee, now you are going to have an agreement with the engineer. Are you going to hire him on a contract or stage by stage? Most times I advise to build your house stage by stage. So if you know that I want to just do from foundation to DPC and then take a break, go and continue later, then you're going to just hire the services of an engineer based on the stages you are building your house. But if you know you have the capacity to start and finish your building straightforward, just hire this engineer as a contract. But most people, whether they are starting and finishing immediately, they will hire based on stages, so that in case they no longer like the services of this engineer, they can easily switch. Maybe after foundation to DPC, you don't like the way you and the engineer you are working together. You can say, okay, engineer, thank you so much for this stage. I want to take a break. Then from the other stage, you can look for another engineer, right? For this engineering fee for each stage, depending on the engineer, depending on your location, depending on the type of house you are building. So this particular prices I'm giving you is just a range, it's just an idea of how much you should be looking at. And using 4-bedroom bungalow as our case study. If you are building 4-bedroom duplex, it's not the same price. Okay, if you are building story building, different type of building, commercial building, is not the same price. So for this engineering fee, for this simple 4-bedroom bungalow that we are building, for each stage you are paying the engineer 200,000 naira for his services, his or her services, for each stage. 200,000 naira. So now I'm going to assume that we are going to hire this engineer as a contract. Okay, we are going to hire this engineer as a contract, and we are going to pay him 1 million naira to complete this 4-bedroom bungalow from foundation to the parking in stage, to the stage where he will hand over the key of the building to us. For his services, we are going to pay him 1 million naira. But if you want to pay in stages, 200,000 naira for each stage of the building. Okay, so for this simple 4-bedroom bungalow we are building, we are going to hire the services of this engineer as a contract. Okay, and we are going to pay him 1 million naira. 1 million naira for his services to complete this simple 4-bedroom bungalow we are building. Okay, now the next thing we are going to pay for is bill of quantity. Yes, bill of quantity. If you are getting the services of a quantity surveyor, they have the price. If you want your engineer based on, you say, okay, this engineer has experience and is also a quantity surveyor, because most engineers are quantity surveyors sometimes, because they've been in the business for long and they've acquired all the skills and everything that they need and the experience. They can actually give you an accurate bill of quantity based on their experience and everything. Okay, so but if you want the services of a quantity surveyor separately, you don't want to use an engineer, you want a separate, a standalone quantity surveyor, you're going to pay him or her. Also, if you are using your engineer and you want your engineer to give you a bill of quantity for the building, for this 4-bedroom bungalow, aside from his engineering fee, you're also going to pay him or her for the bill of quantity. Okay, so for the bill of quantity for this simple 4-bedroom bungalow that we are building, we are going to get the services of a quantity surveyor. Okay, and for this simple 4-bedroom bungalow we are building, for the bill of quantity, we are going to pay the quantity surveyor 100,000 naira. Yes, 100,000 naira to give us the bill of quantity for this 4-bedroom bungalow that we are going to build. Yes, so for this bill of quantity, it does not have fixed price. Okay, depending on the quantity surveyor or the engineer, depending on the type of building, depending on so many factors. Like all those things, there are different factors that can either increase or reduce the price for you. So even if we are building the same 4-bedroom bungalow in the same location, we cannot spend exactly the same amount of money. Even if you are building the same 4-bedroom bungalow in the same location, because my engineering fee might be different from your engineering fee. My quantity surveyor fee might be different. So different factors. Okay, so even if I pay 100,000 naira for my bill of quantity, you might pay 80,000 naira. Someone else might pay 150,000 naira for the same 4-bedroom bungalow. So different factors will influence these things. Okay, like location, the engineer or the quantity surveyor you are using, the design of your house, so many things. Okay, now after we've gotten our bill of quantity, we are ready to start our building, right? We are ready to start our building because we've paid for our building permit or developmental fee, we've paid our cutoff, we've paid for our building design, we've gotten our structural drawing, we've done our survey, we've paid for the surveyor, we've paid for our engineering fee. We've paid for our engineering fee, we've paid for the bill of quantity. Now we are going to pay for excavation. Yes, they are going to excavate the land because everything is ready. Even our bill of quantity is ready. Now it's time for us to start excavating the land so that the building proper can start. Okay, so now for this excavation, depending on how bushy, how rough the location, the land is, that will influence how much you are going to pay. Even if we are bidding on 50 by 100 piece of land, if my 50 by 100 piece of land is not that bushy and your own is a little bit rough, you're going to pay more than me. Okay, so for this simple 4-bedroom bungalow, we are bidding on 50 by 100 piece of land, and the land is not very rough, just simple, straight to the point. Okay, we were lucky to get the land at a very good location that does not really need a lot of, there is no tree there, no too much, not much work to do on the land, just to clear out, do some simple excavation, and that is it. So for the excavation for this 50 by 100 piece of land that we are building our 4-bedroom bungalow, we are going to pay 80,000 naira. Yes, 80,000 naira to the laborers to do the excavation. Okay, 80,000 naira. Like I said earlier, the prices differ. So if your land is very bushy and my own is not bushy, we are going to pay different amounts of money, even if it's the same size of land. Okay, also your location matters. So location is the cocoa when it comes to building. Okay, now we've done the excavation, it's time for the building proper to start. Okay, the engineer want to do the laying out and everything, they want to start everything. So we are going to now look at our bill of quantity. Once you are getting your bill of quantity from your engineer or your quantity surveyor, it is mostly done in stages. Most bill of quantity comes in stages, like it is done in stages, right? So now you've gotten your bill of quantity, and now you want to start your building projects. You want to look at how much materials. Okay, remember, we are building this 4-bedroom bungalow from the ground up. We are starting from the beginning till the parking in stage. We are not taking breaks because we have the money. We are odogus. We have the money to start and finish without taking any break. If you need a bill of quantity for your 4-bedroom bungalow, in fact, any kind of house you want to build here in Nigeria, I got you. Go to my seller shop and download full bill of quantity for different houses. Even this 4-bedroom bungalow that we are building, the full bill of quantity for this 4-bedroom bungalow, the link to it will be in the description box. Okay, so click the link in the description box to get the full bill of quantity for this 4-bedroom bungalow at a cheaper price. Yes, cause Mo got you. You know what I'm saying? I got you. I speak with my quantity surveyor, they beat down the price for me. I come and give it to you guys at an affordable rate. Okay, at an affordable price. Okay, so for this 4-bedroom bungalow, to get the full bill of quantity for this 4-bedroom bungalow that we are building together, click the link in the description box to download it. Okay, so for the material for this simple 4-bedroom bungalow that we are building, we need 36 million naira. This material include water and transportation. Yes, water and transportation is included in these materials. Okay, so for the materials for this simple 4-bedroom bungalow that we are building, we need 36 million naira from start to finish, including doors, windows, everything. We need 36 million naira. Then for the labor cost, remember, engineering fee is different from labor fee. And if you need a very good engineer to handle this your building project, this building that we are building, you know what to do. Contact engineer everywhere for your building projects. Okay, so yeah, for also, if you need a very good agent that will help you with your properties, let's say after buying your land, you need a good agent that will help you to do your building permits, talk to the community, help you beat down prices of anything, especially if you are building here in Delta State, Warri to be precise, Uwe, Udu, Ureli, just down this part of Delta State. Contact a gentle nose na area, how you go to help you waka the waka. Okay, so if you want to build, you don't want to wahala with community, with anybody, contact a gentle nose, he got you. Okay, so yeah, so for the materials we need 36 million naira. This material include water and transportation. Okay, water and transportation, and this water and transportation, this price also depending on your location. Okay, depending on your location. So for the materials for this simple 4-bedroom bungalow that we are building in Uwe local government area of Delta State, Nigeria, we need 36 million naira. Okay, Now for the labor cost, we need 8 million naira. Remember, labor cost is different from engineering fee, okay? The labor cost is different from the engineering fee. So for the labor cost, we need 8 million naira, total of 8 million naira from foundation to the packing stage. Till the stage where they hand over the key to you, even the windows, everything, tiles, everything, the total cost of labor, the amount we need is 8 million naira. 8 million naira. Then remember, before you started this building, they did the storehouse. You know, that wood house where they store materials, keep things and everything. For that wood house, we spent 500,000 naira to construct that storehouse where we'll be keeping materials during the course of building this our 4-bedroom bungalow. Okay, so that is 500,000 naira. So now let's add everything that we've spent so far when it comes to building this simple 4-bedroom bungalow. Now these things, you are going to pay for these things even if you are building 5-bedroom bungalow, you are building story building, you are building duplex, you are building commercial buildings, just that the prices will be different. The prices will be different, but all those things here, your building permit or developmental fee, you're gonna pay. Okay, you must pay. Cut off, if you are in this any part of the Nigeria where they pay for cut off and you don't want to use anybody from the community, you must pay the cut off. Okay, then building design, you need it, whether you are building bungalow or you are building duplex, commercial building, you need your building design. For this 4-bedroom bungalow, we did not get our electrical drawing and all the other drawings we need for building because it's a very simple 4-bedroom bungalow, and our engineer Ewere, who is in charge of this building, is very experienced. He knows how to carve out all these things. So that one is already saving us a lot of money, because that one would have cost like another 150 to 300k to get our electrical drawing and all the other drawings for our plumbing and other things. Okay, so we did not get those drawings. We only got our building design and our structural drawing, because engineer Ewere, who is in charge of this building, is capable of handling all the other things. Okay, and this building, 4-bedroom bungalow, is a very simple building. It does not need many, you know. Yeah. So now for the building permits, we need 400,000 naira. For this 4-bedroom bungalow, we are bidding 400,000 naira. The prices differs, okay, depending on your building, depending on your location, right? Now for this simple 4-bedroom bungalow that we are building in Uwe local government area of Delta State, we need 400,000 naira. For the cutoff, we paid 1 million naira for the cutoff. For the building design, we paid 150,000 naira for the building design. The structural drawing, we paid 150,000 naira for the structural drawing. The survey again for the land, we paid 150,000 naira for the survey. For the engineering fee, we paid 1 million naira because we are taking engineering as a contract. Okay, yeah, so for the engineering fee, we paid 1 million naira from start to finish of this bidding. Then the bill of quantity, we paid 100,000 naira to the quantity surveyor to get the bill of quantity. The excavation for this 4-bedroom bungalow, the land, we paid 80,000 naira for the excavation. For the materials, including water and transportation, we spent a total of 36 million naira. A total of 36 million naira for water and transportation for this 4-bedroom bungalow. Then for the labor cost, we spent a total of 8 million naira for the labor cost. The storehouse, you know, for this 4-bedroom bungalow where we stored material during the course of building this 4-bedroom bungalow, we spent 500,000 naira to, you know, construct the storehouse. So the total cost of building this our simple 4-bedroom bungalow here in Uwe local government area of Delta State, Nigeria, is 47,530,000 naira. 47,530,000 naira. That is the total amount we spent in building this our simple 4-bedroom bungalow here in Uwe local government area of Delta State, Nigeria. Remember, the prices differs from state to state, city to city, local government to local government, in fact. Okay, so yeah, that is it. So you see that with almost 50 million naira, your 4-bedroom bungalow is set to go up to your parking in stage. I'm talking the door, the windows, the tiles, everything complete. It's just for you to carry your furniture and come and start living inside, right? So with approximately 50 million naira, your 4-bedroom bungalow is set here in Nigeria. Okay, so yeah, that is it for this video. If you have any question, put it down for me in the comment section. I'll be there to answer all your questions. This video is just to give you a guide on the things you are going to pay for before you start your building project. all the things you're going to pay for, and the amount you should be looking at when you are budgeting for these things, okay, depending on the type of house you are building. So yeah, if you need a very good engineer to handle this your building project, any kind of building you're building here in Nigeria, any part of Nigeria, don't hesitate to contact engineer Ewere. His phone numbers will always be on the screen, also in the description box and in the pinned comment. Also, to get genuine properties here in Delta State and you need someone that will help you, to the waka, you want to go meet community, may you pay for your building permits, it will help you waka around. You want to do your building design, everything concerning your building here in Warri, any part of Warri, any part of Uwe, Udu, any part of this part of Urobo land, Ishekiri land, Isoko, this part of Delta State, contact agent who knows. His phone numbers will always be on the screen, also in the description box and in the pinned comment. To get the full bill of quantity for this 4-bedroom bungalow that we just built together, click the link in the description box to download the full bill of quantity, okay? So for business, contact me via my email. My email will always be on the screen, also in the description box and in the pinned comment, okay? I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to pray about your building. You see all these things, in fact, let me tell you, when it comes to paying for your developmental fee here in Uwe, you have to pray to God that the day you are going to pay for your developmental fee, God should put the right person on seats. The right person that will say, okay, don't worry, just pay. Because the day you go, you jam the wrong person on seat. You go pay tire, you go buy drink tire. I'm telling you. So that is why anything concerning your building, any stage you are in, when it comes to your building, pray about it. Pray for God to put the right people in the right places and help you to meet the right people at the right time to do everything to handle your building project. Oh God in heaven, I commit my viewers unto your able hands. I pray, oh God, that you have mercy upon them and have mercy upon me. Please forgive us our sins in Jesus' name. I pray, oh God, that you help them, oh God. Help them not to miss the people that they are supposed to meet when it comes to this their building projects in Jesus' name. Help them, oh God, to always meet the right people, direct them to the right people, and to always be at the right places at the right time to meet with the right people in the name of Jesus. Amen. I love you guys so much. Don't forget that Oluwa got you. Okay? And I will see you in my next one. Bye. Peace out.